Rise 360 makes it super easy to export your e-learning courses to an XLIF file for localization. In this video, we'll look at how you can export your Rise course to an XLIF file. The first thing you'll need to do is duplicate the course you want to translate. So in this Employee Health and Wellness, I'll click the ellipse button right here and choose Duplicate. Now, since the duplicate version will become the translated course, I'll rename it now just so I don't mix up the two courses. I'll call this one French, and I don't need the copy of. I can remove that and click the Duplicate button. Go ahead and open the duplicate course and click Settings in the upper right corner. Go to the Translations tab, and you can see Rise 360 walks you through the process. Now, by default, the option to include HTML formatting is selected. If you don't need to preserve the formatting you've applied to your text, you can deselect Include HTML formatting. This exports your content in easy-to-translate blocks of text. However, it doesn't contain the coding necessary to maintain any formatting you've applied to the content. Now, I want to keep my formatting, so I'll leave this option selected. And finally, click Export XLIF File, and it will save to my computer. The next step is to translate your course content. You can use a web app, computer program, or professional translation service to edit your XLIF file. We have a Get Help link right here that gives you some more information on translation options and tool suggestions. Once your file is translated, you import it into the duplicate course by clicking the Import Translated Text here in step 3. So I'll select that newly translated file and click Choose. Storyline will upload the translation, and you'll see a confirmation message when your text is successfully imported. Okay, cool. Let's test out our newly translated course. Okay, so here's our updated course with the translation. Everything looks really great. The only thing left to do is to translate the course labels and all of the other built-in navigational elements. Now, you have a couple options for how you edit the labels. You can edit labels using an on-screen label editor, or you can export a label set, customize it with an XLF editor, and then import it back into Rise, just like we did the course XLF. So let's go ahead and begin by looking at the on-screen editor first. All right, we'll close out of the preview and jump back into our settings view and choose labels this time. So to switch all of the text labels in your course to a different language or a custom label set, you can use this drop-down list right here in the editor to make your language selection. I think I want to use French here, so select French. And that's going to customize all of the labels and UI elements. But I can still customize specific labels at this point by selecting the custom text and typing in a new version of the word. So for example, if I wanted to change the course overview and make this a custom term, maybe that your organization is using, how they want to begin the course, you can type in a new term for any of these here in the custom text column. But please note that if you are going to make those changes, we recommend that you first create a new label set based on the current language set. And that's simply because any changes you make to a language will also apply to all of your Rise 360 courses that are using that same label set. So you would create a new version of it, and you could give it a specific name, maybe for the customer, client, or project that you are using. I'll just call it version 2, but that would give a specific custom label set for the French translated labels. And that would be also available here under your user label sets under the new one, French 2. And you can also download this if you wanted to export it and maybe further translate it or create a backup of it. And you can additionally rename it or completely remove it from your list. But if you are going to make any custom changes to any of these terms, pretty good idea just to make a copy of that. Now, let's say that your language that you are translating to is not one of the built-in label sets, or again, you want to further customize how all of the labels appear. You can export everything from the language set. So we could export the entire English built-in label sets or any one of these as a starting point, export them to an XLIF file, and then have those professionally translated, re-import them back into Rise by uploading the XLIF file. I'm going to go ahead and close out of the labels editor and return to my course outline. Well, that's really it. That's how easy it is to translate your RISE courses by exporting them to XLIF files.